Today in Changsha, let me show you a set designed by us at Wancheng, a traditional Chinese residence covering an area of 3 acres. Enter this space, first coming through the porch. We used wood grain metal for this area and combined it with glass to create a corridor. And our corridor also incorporates some Chinese style elements, such as this bucket arch. Then, this way, there is also a corridor that leads to the garage. So after the garage is parked, no need to get caught in the rain. You can also enter through this corridor. Then, our garden is divided into 2 sections. One is the main garden, which is for entertaining guests. The side garden has some valuable trees planted. And there are also functional elements, such as kitchen accessories. And this one is carved in bluestone as screen wall. Then, it is on the wall opposite the door, with pines and cranes, as well as magpies and deer. The symbolism is that pines and cranes represent longevity, happiness, and wealth. The owner of our courtyard is greatly influenced by traditional Chinese philosophy, so he hoped that this gardening process would not only reflect his detached nature, but also embody his positive and upward spirit of engaging with the world, embrace nature and work with it. It's the owner's concept that aligns with ours. So, all the stones, trees, plants, and water in the courtyard we designed are actually elements taken from nature. The owner is hoping to put the building, plants, landscape, and humanities organically integrated, create natural harmony, without losing the artistic conception of the humanities. An inch of grass has aspirations, and stone has love. Every piece of Taihu stone in this yard, all chosen by the owner, follows the thin leakage principle, with the wrinkled ones selected. This way, the owner built a pavilion around the fish pond. This pavilion is called Muching Pavilion. The meaning of Muching Pavilion is about the culture of the family. The owner wishes for family harmony and prosperity. Then enter our Muching Pavilion. The waterside paths of Mukaku are all made of natural stones, and the texture of the Taihu stone fields. A mountain stream was created here, symbolizing high mountains and flowing water. Then, a mountain stream flows into the fish pond in front. Okay, now let's enter Muching Pavilion and take a look. In fact, this attic is equivalent to saying that it is the most central place in the entire courtyard. Then the host can make tea here to entertain guests. Then, this place is actually mainly a spiritual concept of the owner. Here, at this location, first you see, less is more. Slow is fast. And then, this is called non-action. And value. Then, this owner actually knows this Chinese philosophy very well. So, he knows that a gentleman should know when to act and when not to act. And where is the real value? Then, he is also very concerned with integrity, diligence, humility, and openness. These are his thoughts on life, a fusion of understanding. Then, when you say your friend is coming, in such an environment, this inspiration arises. Okay, so after visiting Muching Pavilion, let's take you on a tour of the garden behind us. Then, this pavilion has both an internal and external structure. There is a beauty's perch here it wraps around. You can usually feed the fish here. You can also cool down here in summer. In a Chinese courtyard, water is indispensable. No water, no scenery, no water, no garden. So, this fish pond echoes the Muching Pavilion. I just hope to create a half-acre square pond that captures the feeling of sky, light, and clouds. Then, in this whole courtyard, we have a large open space that takes up the entire area. We didn't follow the winding and twisting path of traditional Chinese style, because the owner has many children in the family. We wanted an open space for the kids to play in. The 2 pine trees chosen by the owner are very good. This pine tree, this floating branch, in fact, reaches out to the Muching Pavilion. The moral is also a kind of welcome and hospitality, this feeling of etiquette. This mountain rock and this pine tree make a landscape. Then, because our building is the original structure from the developer, it has a sharp corner at this position. This corner faces this side, as it is the middle hall inside. So, we're hoping that through this pine tree, we can soften the overall feeling of this corner. Over here, I used a few little slabs of this kind. I made a small plank road. Then, this plank road leads to the back garden on this side. Then, at this position, you can also enter this pavilion. Then, at this position, this corridor leads to the garage. After the usual parking, there is a switch at this position to control access to this door. Then, this garage door is not like other garage doors. It is vertical, this way of folding. Okay, then we can go to the side garden and take a look. What kind of plants has the owner collected? This is the Japanese pines. The shape of this tree is also good, especially its canopy, and it just happens to be placed at the Azure Dragon position near this door. So, look at this tree. It's obviously taller than the tree on the right. Then, in this courtyard, all the landscape creations are actually based on very natural, smooth lines. It's a combination of stone and grass. This vegetation, this landscape, what is made is one natural form. Then the owner got 3 U's. It is said that they can have the effect of purifying the air, including highs and lows like this, and the location of such corners. The location of all these interfaces can, in fact, be resolved using this exquisite stone and mountain stone. After this, there is also a small courtyard. This courtyard, in fact, is for the whole surrounding house, providing a landscape. This is the dining room, and this is the elder's room. This is the living room. Enter a corridor from this elevator. So, this is where you can see that, although the space is not big, through the construction of this natural form, it gives a sense of seclusion and elegance. Then behind this is one of the entire buildings, an equipment area for air conditioning, and then this area in front is the vegetable field. So it's a city that cannot be separated, a pastoral garden that can be returned to. It should be from our courtyard, a lifestyle that the owner desires. Then let's go inside and have a look. So what we defined for this project is to make some innovations in traditional Chinese style. So we used a lot of wood and chose teak as the main material. And as you can see, all the metals are brass. Then, the owner also took care of this door. It's usually like this. After opening, you can swipe your fingerprint to enter. We can open it now and have a look. Then, in this location, we are on the ceiling. We put some thought into it, because we use this engraving to create a mosaic of 5 bats, which symbolizes the meaning of 5 blessings coming to the door. The ground has a lotus design, which echoes the circle above us. And we had this overall primary feeling. What we want to achieve is the sense of heaven is round and earth is square. So, for the smallpox, we used some wooden beam construction combined with metal, including the patterns of many of these elements inside. We are all familiar with these ancient books, and the patterns taken from some elements. Over here, I used a few small slabs to create a small plank road. This plank road leads to the back garden on this side. Then, come into this room. This is the whole living room. Then, in this living room, you can see the entire landscape of the courtyard. I made a 13-piece furniture set from red rosewood. And what about this position? For the ceiling, we made some innovations. Apart from the 4 corners, we did some plaster work on the ceiling, creating this feeling of auspicious cloud carving. This smallpox, because its original design was simpler, we used orange and copper, along with this metal. The entire auspicious cloud element gives the whole smallpox a 3-dimensional, layered feeling. And this is the dining area. This is the Western food section on the left. On the right is a Chinese dining area for 18 people. Then, at this position in the porch, we made a special design for this pillar, because this place is not very high. We placed these 2 pillars to make it a little flatter. Then, by combining this layer of copper above, it will make the entire floor height appear higher. And then, there's the Western food section. The owner used a very meaningful Hunan embroidery in the Western food area. And then the whole place, where the family usually eats breakfast, is here. The entire space also gives a feeling of being surrounded by a garden. What about here? It can accommodate 18 people in the Chinese section. Then at this location, the position among us, the consideration is based on a feeling of he-she-be. So we're framing it with wood carving, and the middle is made of translucent stone. Then in our space, in fact, one of the more important details is our smallpox. In fact, our smallpox is very difficult to make because, as you can see, we have combined this Chinese-style bucket arch with a wooden structure, which emphasizes this particular design. You see, this includes this location. The bottom is made of wood, and the wood is anchored to the ceiling with metal. So, this is actually very difficult to execute, but this one is completely original by us. Including the shape of the edges of these metals. We combined this kind of wishful thinking to create this shape. So for these beams in this smallpox, we actually use entire wooden beams. Everything is integrated. The load-bearing structure is particularly elegant. Even elements like the air conditioner are made of wood, ensuring the unity of the overall effect. But if you use all wood for a Chinese-style design, you'll miss the embellishment that metal provides. Without it, you lose much of the modernity. So we must incorporate both wood and metal. The copper is combined to match this sense of advancement and level. Then, we'll take a look. A very important place in this family is the zhongteng. And we kept going inside, because there are several guest rooms here. This location is a very important space in the home. Zhongteng, then, this middle hall, combined with the owner's understanding of home, was given the name Lixiatang. We can go inside and take a look. Why is it called Lixiatang? Because the owner of our house hopes that his children will have proper etiquette outside, and filial piety and respect for rules at home. Then, etiquette means following the rules outside, and filial piety means having rules at home. The owner named it Lixiatang. Then, this space is actually a combination of the owner's family motto. The owner's family motto, as you can see, actually consists of 3 words here: diligence, respect, and there are 3 words on the left. But that's not how it's read. It should read as diligence, frugality, respect, tolerance, and creativity. So, the motto is about the 3 generations: elders, middle-aged, and young. The elders are thrifty, the middle generation values respect, and the young generation is about innovation. This is the owner's understanding of life and home, expressed in 6 words. And this is it. Fu, Lu, Shu. This is a common arrangement in the middle hall. What about the ground? With that bluestone. This natural surface made of bluestone. I also hope to create this. It's kind of quaint, with a very solemn feeling. So, the middle hall is in this house. In fact, it is a family culture. A place of family culture. The experience of the older generation, their understanding and experience of life, is something they hope to pass on to the next generation in some way. Then, this table is one of the owner's collections, a table carved from red rosewood. Then a case desk. It can be used for writing at ordinary times. So, at the same time, our middle hall, along with the entire garden and pavilion, creates a feeling that echoes both inside and outside. Then let's go to the underground space to take a look. What about this layer? It is also a place of recreation and hospitality. Then we can take a look at the whole space. This is the owner's child. He painted a flower on the other side. He's actually very thoughtful, even though he's still very young. Only in elementary school. So, this family lesson is really important. What about this location? It's a rooftop, a light-filled patio. Then this position is equivalent to a mid-platform area. So this is an area of a service bar. And this is an area of a chess card. This chess card is quite professional. This is specially customized by the owner. A Texas poker table. It's designed specifically for playing Texas Hold, and it's a combination of Chinese and Texas style. This was something we discussed many times, and this plan was eventually finalized. Then, come here, it's a wine cellar. Inside the wine cellar, there are private collections, but we won't visit them. We just want to show you that it has this function. In fact, you can see that the whole space is ubiquitous. That's what it looks like. The owner has some understanding of life and philosophy. Then right here is one of his movie theaters. This theater is made entirely of a kind of transparent soundproof screen, and many speakers are hidden inside the walls. It's usually used more frequently, especially when friends come over to sing a couple of songs. What about this area? The owner himself created a fitness and entertainment space for the family. Then this row of cabinets, the handles on these cabinet doors, were all specially designed by us. They are made in the shape of Ruyi. One is called Ruyibo, represents the meaning of Ruyi, things go as desired. And here, it's a simulation designed by the owner, a driving range for golf. This is a professional, great golf simulation area. And then there's the owner. For example, in this place, there can also be mirrors. You can practice dance and do exercises, including yoga here. Then this area is for the child, a fitness and activity area. This wall has a mirror, so the children can practice exercises and dance here. And then, here is a glass whiteboard for the whole wall, where they can do graffiti. Then this position is a table, where he usually practices calligraphy, and a place to paint. Then we put a transparent glass in this position to light up the whole patio. You can pass through this space, which leads to the corridor. This next space is a very special one. It's the climbing wall. And there's a slide here. In this location, it originally was a lighting well for the entire space, but it only had 1 floor. What were we thinking? We raised the space by 1 level, and then the glass was directly sealed. On our side, we can achieve ventilation and lighting effects. And our wooden barriers are actually air conditioners. Let's say this area is okay. When it's hot in summer, it can still have air conditioning. Then this position, in fact, is a doorway to the back garden. When we come down to this location, we have a slide for the kids. This slide also has wooden handrails, making it safer to touch on a daily basis. The second floor is a space for family members. There are 5 rooms here, since it's all bedroom space. We won't be looking at them. Then, this place is also an electrical box on each floor. It's all done with attention to such details. Then we can go to the 3rd floor to take a look. The structure of the 3rd floor is relatively simple. Just a study and a bedroom. Then at this position, the arrangement of this rooftop garden is relatively simple. It's just casual, with a few small group landscapes made. Then this position is raised by 4 levels, but we are thinking of it in a singular way. So, we are essentially making this a platform and then going up to level 3. Why raise this level? It was because, during the design process, the owner and I climbed to the top of this area, just after laying the brick pad. We looked at it from this height, and you could see the entire surface of the Zhangjiang River. So, the owner actually has very extreme requirements for life. He is also someone who pays great attention to detail. For example, as you can see, the golden dome is actually a lightning rod, but the owner insisted on following the golden top style. So I had to customize the shape for him. Therefore, the Chinese people's love for Chinese-style housing penetrates deep into their bones. A house is not just a place to live, but a place to settle down both physically and spiritually. For many Chinese people, a house like this, with a courtyard, may be the ideal place to live. If you're interested in Chinese-style houses, feel free to communicate with me more in the comment area.